Alright, we're back on gaming. Now I want to say this right now. There's a lot of things that I need to talk about since it's been a while since I've done a gaming video. As you know, I was away for a while, and there's a couple things I need to really address. Alright, because I'm going to start with the elephant in the room first, and I want to say right now, I apologize for the background and everything. It's kind of dark here because the sun is really bright outside, so it's washing me out here. I understand that. It's fine. It's whatever. Alright, so just bear with me on it, alright? However, what's important is the information I'm going to give you today. Now, I will say this, okay? I'm only going to talk about Gamergate a little bit. I'm only going to show you a couple examples because the things that I've racked up and certain information I've seen, man, it's just, it'll piss you off. It'll make you so mad. That's why I'm only going to give you a couple examples today due to the fact that I don't want it to ruin the entire video, okay? Because there's a lot of positive things today that's going to happen in this video. A lot of gaming things that are very positive. So, I want to talk first about the elephant in the room, okay? And like I said, today, I'm telling you now, be forewarned. If you do not like what I have to say, okay, move on. If you really have a problem with what I have to say, you need to contact me and schedule a time so that we can meet up. That's what type of day it is today, okay? That's the type of day. So I will put it like this. I'm going to start with what you gamers have kept messaging me about for the previous 2 weeks, which was, Event, these guys don't want you on their stream because, about Gamergate because you're not popular enough, even though you've been talking about these things for years. That's been the big thing that's been going on. Now, I don't know if that's rumor or not, but first off, I would like to say this. I told you that this elite shit was going to happen. Did I not? And Prion came out and said himself, he said, yo, they're treating us like JB and Howie at the game break. Yeah, they are. All right? It's absolutely pathetic. I told you before, there are people here who are genuine, who really do care about what's going on, and then there are people here who are doing this simply for their own agenda. We've seen this time and time again. So I will put it like this. Take me off your lists, alright? I don't need to be on their fucking streams. You have to understand, at this point, I've been doing it for so long by myself, I'm going to keep doing it my way. You understand that, right? I don't need them. Just like they think, oh, well, I can't really get anything off of him because he's not famous. Fuck your fame. I told you that before. If that is your end game in this and trying to get followers and all this other bullshit, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. It's that simple, all right? I don't care about them. I told you before, you cannot rely on all these people to speak for you. You speak for you. You have your own opinion until, and I put it like this, it should be valid until you fuck up. Then people will stop listening to you. And yes, I'm going to talk about that as well. So for all these people who keep saying that, they don't want you on these streams, whatever, I don't need them. Don't need them. Don't care about them. So understand that really quickly, okay? Now I want to talk about the second thing. A lot of people have been saying, well, a lot of people are going to start using, it's my right to free speech and all that. So let's end this shit right now, okay? About this right to free speech shit. Because for those who don't know, within these 2 weeks, I had said about the community, I was like, you have to understand that within our community, even if you go against another community and you want them to change, you have to make sure that your community is intact. You have to make sure that everything, all your P's and Q's, all your ducks is in order. All right? And when I said that 2 weeks ago, I had a number of gamers jump all over me for it. And you know what they said? They said, we don't need to change anything about our community. Really? So nothing needs to be changed. So all the harassment that we see, all the racism that we see, all this other bullshit that we see in shit posts and carrying on, none of that needs to change. They were like, no. We don't have to change anything about ourselves. They need to abide by our demands. That's what they said. Yeah. So already, you're becoming what you hate. That arrogance. That elite group. I had another gamer tell me, he said that we don't need to change anything, and what they have to do is abide by us because we have the money. They need to dance for us. That was never what this was about. Gamergate was about being fair, being treated fairly as consumers, okay? That's what it was about. It was never about takeover. It was never about you have to abide by my demands. It was never about that. At the worst case scenario, what do we agree on? If they don't want to listen to us, we walk away from them, and then they fend for themselves. They're on their own. They will see just how much of the power of a consumer that we have. We take our money with us. Not, we have money, do as we say. It's, we have the power to walk away from you because we're independent individuals with integrity. That's what it was about. And it seems like a lot of gamers are not understanding that. This is not a firefight here. No, because nothing's going to get solved. But right now, nothing is getting solved. If you haven't understood, they're sitting here, sitting back, and of course, they're going to make up their little fucking lies. We know that. We've seen that. All right? Now we're seeing all these type of death threats, and we're not talking Brianna Wu crying or anything about their death threats, and then you see what they're doing, afterwards, which I will show you today. Okay? Not talking about that. We're talking about from the other side of the fence, how they're having death threats now. So I'm going to get in this real quick, all right? Because now we're seeing, some guy, George Tate or whatever the hell his name is, talks about how all Gamergaters should be gassed. That's right, they should be killed. See, this is that coward talk again. I'll put it like this. If he feels this way, why don't you come say it to my face? Let's see just how much of a badass you are. You want to kill people, why don't you come do it? I've said this before. And then you had clowns like Arthur Chu who said, it's okay to be racist, it's okay to be hateful, but physical violence, that's going too far. So let me get this straight. You want to sit online and you want to spew hate and you want to sit here and talk about people and degrade them in such a way, but you don't want any consequences to that if you have to say it in reality. As soon as somebody's ready to get up and whoop your ass, then it's, oh no, that's going too far. It seems like a lot of these people do not live in the real world. That's why they do it online. We've seen this already with that badass digest dude. Talks and talks and talks online. What happened when he got in the ring? Got his ass whooped. That's what this is about. And now we're hearing all this, well, it's my right to free speech. And I'll put it like this, because it's also on our side of the fence too. Okay? I've talked to a lot of gamers. Oh yeah, I'm for not your shield. And then you see them in other forums. Yeah, these niggers, they don't know any better, blah, blah, blah. Fucking seriously? Seriously. There are so many frauds, and so I swear to God, if this shit was dive kick, there would be so many people that would start with the YOLO gem. So many. It is ridiculous that we are seeing this. But like I said, freedom of speech, your right to free speech. I'll put it like this. Since you feel it's your right to fucking free speech, you want to start talking that hate shit, I'll put money on it. Any amount of money, go down to the fucking hood. Alright? And go out there and call everyone a bunch of niggers. And when they come after you, I want you to stand there and say, but it's my right to free speech. Watch what the fuck happens. I'm so tired of hearing this bullshit about how, this is what we have to go by laws. You are talking to a person that comes from a place where they made up their own fucking rules. What the fuck makes you think you're going to be arrogant enough to try and pull that shit? But then, you have also other people, they're trying to give you advice. Fuck their advice. Who the fuck are you to give me advice when you got your own skeletons in the closet? It's ridiculous. I can't believe people have the gall and arrogance to sit and say, these guys like you, but they're trying to give you advice. I've never talked to these guys. And for what everyone else is saying, like I said, and it could be just rumor, that, they don't want you on their streams anyway because, you're not popular enough. This shit's going to have to stop. I told you people before, alright? Because there's so much infighting going on. I told you before that this comes down to being mature. And if you're not going to be mature, I will walk the fuck away from this. As you can see, what I'm talking about right now. Like I said, I don't need to be on your list. I don't need to be on your streams. I don't need any of this shit. I will do this shit the way I did it. And here's the thing. I've been doing it for a long time. Here's the thing. You still see these idiots, like I said, piggybacking off each other or waiting for the next thing to happen so that they can speak on it. You're not understanding. You are supposed to plan ahead of time. So you can say, hey, I saw this shit coming, I called it, and you're proving me right. I'm already prepared. But instead, you're going to sit and wait for something to happen and then pounce because that's what, because that's the new big thing. That's the trend right now. How many people have we seen talk about Gamergate? Oh my God, there's a hashtag and it's been used so many fucking times. Who cares? Who cares? It doesn't matter. What's more important? Because I want to show you this right now before I go any further, all right? Because what happened not too long ago on Reddit, a trans woman was told that she was banned from Reddit simply because the way she was acting, not because she was pro-Gamergate or anti-Gamergate, no. And then they went on to say that they own her. That she's their property. Let's look at that right now. As it states on Reddit, we have banned you from r/Gamergate and r/anti-Gamergate. We did not do this because you are pro-Gamergate. We did this because you, like most white trans women, show a fundamental lack of gratitude for your allies on the left who have campaigned for social justice for decades. We are the only reason you have any civil rights. We are the reason you have never been thrown into the asylum for your gender identity, and we are the reason you have not been subjected to the pseudo-scientific reparative therapies of the 20th century. We did all this for you, and yet you support the reactionaries who would love to swing you from a lamppost on their fabled day of the rope. You, as a trans woman, are in debt to us, and the very least you could have done would have been to abstain from this ugly flame war until it passed. Instead, you have decided to reinforce the tokenism of the reactionaries by endorsing them and participating in their forums. You may not be our shield, but you are our property. We own you. Your very existence is protected by the institutions and laws we have made for you. Never forget this, and in the future, show some fucking gratitude. So now I have to ask a lot of these YouTubers, who have this moral ground, but ignore a lot of shit that goes on because it gives them viewers. I want to ask the people with half a brain. I'm going to do this like they do in the movies. I'm going to put you on the spotlight. I'm going to ask you, what's more important? Gaming and ethics and journalism? Or the treatment of human beings in your community? I would love to know. See, that's how I feel. As far as I'm concerned, this is a joke. And it seems like a lot of people are taking this as a fucking joke. But it's not a joke. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we have more of this in our own community. You'll tell me it doesn't need to be cleaned up. But this is what I'm talking about. So y'all think this shit is funny, though. Alright, see me when you see me. And I know a lot of people say, oh, Vent, what, you ready to fight? I'll put it like this. You don't understand. If you can't understand right now that, yeah, it's time to fight because life is a fucking fight. Can you not understand? Everything that you work for is a fucking fight to get ahead. That dinner that you have put on your table, if you don't have, mommy and daddy do it for you, guess what? That's a fight to survive. Every fucking thing, these clothes, guess what? You had to work hard to get them, didn't you? Everything is a fucking fight. If you don't have that mentality, then there's something fucking wrong with you. But it seems like for some reason, people are just going to act like that's not a big thing. Oh, it's the internet. Everyone's got a fucking excuse. It's the internet. Or this person's trolling. It doesn't matter if they fucking trolling. It doesn't fucking matter. You see people do dumb shit for entertainment. I told you before, what you get here is real. So of course, I'm not going to like a bunch of fucking frauds. Don't sit here and say one thing and then go do something else completely different. And then you want to keep saying, well, and once again, going back to the whole, well, it's their right to say it. I'll fight for the death for them to fucking say it. No. Anita Sarkeesian, not too long ago, as we saw, tried to say that, with all these, shootings and tragedies, and tried to push her own platform. Does she deserve to, have any voice? No, not after that shit. Brianna Wu came out and did the same thing. She highlighted a woman who was killed and then tried to make it about herself. Fuck you. Not even giving a damn about the people that were involved in that. And the person who was killed and their families and all that, and had to go through that. But you're going to use that to say, this is why I'm scared. Really? We'll talk about that in a minute. See, this is the shit I'm talking about, man. All of you sit here, and you try to play the war words. And you try to one-up each other. But it doesn't help any. It doesn't get anywhere. If this was going to be solved by now, it would have been. It could have been resolved the first week that it happened. But they didn't. They decided to go with, being sexually harassed. And we know how that happened. Matter of fact, an ABC anchor, I will put it in the info bar, has admitted that they decided to go with the sexual harassment angle instead of the corruption angle. So they know about this shit and still went with the sexual harassment angle. It goes to show you, like I said, if you're going to go after media, it doesn't matter what media. It could be gaming media or whatever, you're going after all of it. And if you expect to win this, which we will not win this. Why? Because you have to realize that everybody is in it for themselves. I've been talking about teamwork and fucking teamwork all over again. And what happens? People still fighting with each other. I still have people sending me messages saying, look at this link, and it's from fucking Kotaku. How many times do I have to show you what Kotaku has done and how nasty they've been, and you still fucking go there? Do you even care? Do you care at this point? It is ridiculous. But that's not all. No. Then you turn around and you say, well, I'm going to fight for these people because they have the right to say what they fucking want. Well, fuck you then. It's that simple. I am not going to support anybody who pushes this type of fucking hate and tells us especially as people of color, because you love to call us POCs all the fucking time, alright? Us people of color, that we don't matter. That we don't even fucking exist. But that's okay, right? You're going to still support people who say that type of shit. Well, then fuck you. It's that simple, man. I don't understand how anybody can sit here and say, that's alright. It is ridiculous. Like I said, these people want to start making threats in this issue and start talking about gassing people and shooting people and that they're going to do all these type of things. If you've seen Twitter, it is ridiculous. But when you see these type of things, let them prove it. That's simple. There are YouTubers on here who have received all types of nasty death threats, and it's uncalled for. It is. And we're going to talk about death threats more, because there was death threats put down in the gaming community outside of Gamergate, which is ridiculous. But for every death threat you see, everybody all of a sudden is being harassed. Everyone's being harassed. Donate to my Patreon, blah, 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 blah. And it's funny because once again, I'm going to get on Brianna right now. Alright? She's so afraid for her life, right? That she decided to go and troll the Call of Duty community because she thinks at this point that she's a celebrity because she was on MSNBC. And when I saw those tweets, I decided to do the responsible thing, because that's what we do in this community. We look out for each other. That's what we're supposed to be doing, instead of just sponging off of each other. Yeah, you know. What I did was, I took those tweets, and I sent them over to, you know, Activision Call of Duty support and everything. And you know what their community did? First off, the community was like, who's Brianna Wu? Yeah, so that's understandable, alright? And then the second thing really bothered me. They were like, archive or it didn't happen. Really? So you couldn't look it up yourself, right? You understand that these tweets were put out by her, and people were like, are you this stupid? Here's the archive. Like, they're putting it out. It's like, first it was Pixar, it didn't happen. Now that's not enough. Now it's archive or it didn't happen. And don't sit here and tell me that someone's going to spend time photoshopping those when you can clearly go to her Twitter and see it. But they didn't want to do that. This is what our community has come down to, and yet everyone wants to say, oh, our community, there's nothing wrong with our community. I'll give you more examples what's wrong with our community soon, okay? But everything that we are seeing, all right, going on MSNBC, Anita going on Stephen Colbert, and people getting mad at Colbert, understand, this has become a dog and pony show. This is not about our issues anymore. This is about using us for ratings. That's all it is. And I told you before, stay away from that shit. We just saw Pac-Man not too long ago. He had all these people on there, and everybody was praising him, and then what did he do? He turned around and was like, you shouldn't even be worried about Gamergate. There are more important issues to deal with. Did he not say that? Just disrespecting, the entire thing. And what he fails to realize, because he's not looking into it enough, is that there are bigger issues within this Gamergate hashtag. Like I said, what's more important? Ethics in gaming or the treatment of people? But no one's taking that. Listen, nobody wants to talk about that shit, though. No. It's sad. But then, afterwards, Pac-Man was, he's put on the list by anti-Gamergate and social justice warriors saying that he was a misogynist and he was all these type of things. And then he got mad. And you know what I said when that happened? Good. Now you know how it feels. I bet you'll sit back and you'll think about what you said now, won't you? See, this is what I'm talking about. Everyone likes to talk about communication with each other, but no one's really hearing each other out. So since you don't want to hear each other out, why should I even be a part of this? I'm still trying to ask myself this. It's sad. And I understand that there are a lot of good people that are willing to fight for this. They understand, they listen, they connect with each other. But you have to understand the people that are also in our community make us look bad. And this is why I say, this is another reason why we'll lose this. Because we can't come together. We can't. We can't even clean up our own community, and you want to fight another community. Alright? Like, no. It doesn't work that way. Like I said, this year, this holiday season is the biggest time for them to make money. And we talked about it not too long ago, about these sites. They've spiked back up. Because of all the hot releases that's going to come out, and all the deals that are going to come out for the holiday season. Gamers don't know how to walk away from that? Then you're proving them right about being addicts. You will take everything that they say to you, and like it's nothing to it, And then you'll run back to their forums. And you'll run back to their sites. This is what I'm saying. Where's the backbone? Everybody can talk and try and damage control all the fuck they want. Alright? I see right through that shit. It's ridiculous. But yet, that's okay. You know what? Speaking of more ridiculous shit, let's just talk about this right now. Ubisoft, alright? We already know about the Assassin's Creed thing. We'll get into that in a minute. The people who wrote Far Cry 4 sat here and called you gamers, you gamer gators, who just want transparency in journalism, and as we know now, equality. Equality in gaming. Alright? For you people who want that, they told you that you're nothing but a bunch of terrorists. Notice that hashtag? Yep. What did I tell Boogie? I told him, I was like, because he said in the stream, he said that he was just using that hashtag as an out. He's trying to give people an out. What did I say? You don't need to give people an out. Now, they're using your hashtag, Boogie, for an instrument of hate. That's going to come back to you. You know that, right? This is what I tried to tell you. Like I said, stay 10 steps ahead of the game. It seems like people don't understand that, though. You can't say I didn't warn you. Every time. Now, let's keep going. I want to move on because, more on this Ubisoft thing, because of that issue, you do realize that they're saying, oh, well, if you don't like, social justice, you're going to hate this. How much you want to make a bet they're going to get that wrong? So they're already, I think the social justice warriors are already mad at Ubisoft for what happened with Assassin's Creed, because they couldn't animate women. We'll talk about that in a minute, okay? Now, you're going to piss off the other people who support you by calling them terrorists. And I'll put it like this, and this is for Far Cry 4, we know, I believe it comes out today. Why would you give them your money after this? Why would you? Why? I told you before about the arrogance of companies. And when you disrespect consumers, it doesn't matter. Your gender, your color, doesn't matter. When you do something like this, you are asking to be fired. You are. Why are you disrespecting consumers? Oh, I forgot. Because gamers are so used to fucking laying down, it's ridiculous. But I guarantee you, if I start talking bad about a game, you'd get your fucking armies together and you'd come after me, wouldn't you? But if a writer says something, or if a developer says something, or if a publisher says something, you'll take that laying the fuck down. Unreal. Anyways, Assassin's Creed. Let's talk about this shit. Assassin's Creed Unity patch addresses most reported bugs. That's right. Most. Not all, but most. Ubisoft. You've already had problems with Assassin's Creed in the beginning, since, I believe, Assassin's Creed 3. A lot of people were very upset with Brotherhood, okay? And then you keep pulling this. A lot of people like Black Flag. For what I hear, but a lot of people are upset of the way this is going. Then, what happened with Watch Dogs? Then, you go back to this, the fucking Assassin's Creed Unity. What took you so long? You knew better than this. You still going to disrespect consumers. I don't understand how people can still support you after this. It's absolutely ridiculous. I see now why Jade Raymond walked away. I see now. It may be for different issues, but I can definitely see exactly what you did. And for everything that people are saying, it says Nintendo fans. It says, be happy that Ubisoft has abandoned you. It's an article. Because apparently, for everything that's been going on with Ubisoft, because we're hearing now that you try to open treasure chests in Assassin's Creed, and it says, well, you need to have the app, or you need to be online, you need to use our online service, or microtransactions of $100. Like, when you see these things, it is ridiculous. I don't understand. So, Nintendo fans, you should be happy that you don't have to deal with this. You really should. And remember, alright, Ubisoft is still sitting on stacks and stacks of games for the Wii U because they're waiting for the install base. We talked about this before. You can't grow an install base if it doesn't have the games. But they want to wait till the install base gets bigger and then give you the games. Don't even give Ubisoft the time of day. Don't. They don't have anything anyway. All they banking on is Assassin's Creed and what? Rayman? And we see how they've been treating Rayman, so there's no point in that. I swear. Anyways, another article. Congrats, Ubisoft. You are the new EA. This is from Forbes, and you know what? I disagree with this. Just because Ubisoft has pulled these things of what's been going on as of late in a couple of their titles, EA has done this for years. Years. They have done so much damage to our community. And we're not just talking about microtransactions. Online passes and all these other things they've done. Banning people from online just for having a difference of opinion on their game. No. And it's talking about from their forum they did this, online banning people. No, EA has done so many things, there is no way that you can sit here and say that Ubisoft is the new EA. Just because some microtransactions. No, it takes a lot more than that. And if EA wants to get in our good graces, guess what? Because they're trying to make a couple moves, they try to get in the good graces. No, it's going to take you just as much as you put in to get back. That's right. So that means for a couple years, you're going to have to get in our good graces, and that's just to get even. Then you got to go the extra mile. So no, a couple gestures here and there is nothing. I want to move on. We'll talk about Nintendo, since we were talking about Nintendo a minute ago. Amiibo models, that's right, can only store saved data for one game at a time. That's right, but read-only titles are unaffected. Okay, Nintendo fans, if you're going to get this. Also, Nintendo IPs, that's right, can now be officially used for fan projects. So that's a good thing. Alright, that means now all you gamers, if you have any projects, you can just go run with it and you don't have to worry about cease and desist orders and things of that nature. Have at it. Have at it. Oh man, I swear. Also, Nintendo fans, understand that Amiibo, they're having some type of subscription service with Amiibo as well. So I don't know how y'all feel about that. I personally am not a fan of that, but it's like you pay a certain amount and they give you the first 10 or something like that, 10 Amiibos, and they're just going to keep doing this as a subscription service if they decide it's successful enough. Okay? I'll put the link in the info bar for that as well. Okay? Also, I want to talk about Sonic Boom. Yeah. Now look, over a couple of weeks we've seen gamers go off on Sonic Boom. Alright? And for those who don't know, it's been pretty much a heap of junk when it comes to Sonic. It's sad because the franchise has had so many hits to it, you know, to its stature. And Sonic is still a great character. And the characters are still, you know, it's still a great world to play in. But this game, horrible. We've already found out there's a glitch where you can finish the game in an hour. Alright, with this jump or whatever. Now, we're finding out the development team, or the Sonic Boom development staff, fled the studio. That's right, they left the studio to avoid the game. That's right, so I'll put that in the info bar as well. This is crazy, it is. But within all this and people wanting fixes for it, and it seems like you're not going to get a fix at this point when developers are leaving the studio, we're seeing all these PR moves when it comes to trying to sell you on Sonic Boom, and now with Ices. It goes to show you these people are so worried about milking the consumer instead of being worried about the consumer being satisfied with the core product. And this doesn't just go for Sonic Boom, this goes for all games. But of course, gamers, you gotta have that microtransaction. You gotta buy that season pass. Before it was, you gotta have that online pass if you're gonna buy used. It's ridiculous. Come on, man. You gotta be kidding me if you think that this is something that's supposed to be in our community. But yet, you're gonna keep feeding into it, right? It's one thing if it's an expansion. We've talked about this for years. Expansions that you get mass amount of quantity and mass amount of quality in your game is okay. That's fine if you want to pay for that. But these little microtransactions, oh, well, if you buy this, if you buy these Doritos, if you buy this Mountain Dew, if you buy these headphones, if you buy this Icy, when does it stop? But no one wants to talk about that. No. You know what? I want to move on to something better. I want to talk about games that actually seems like they give a damn, okay? For those who don't know what I'm talking about, there's a game that's getting ready to come out. There's a Kickstarter that has started. So I'm promoting the Kickstarter once again. Indy, here we go again. That's right. A game that takes the aspects of Monster Hunter and Zelda and puts it together. That's right. And it's called Guild of Hunters. gotta say, it looks pretty good. I have to say that. Like, seriously, to put two elements together like that and to see what they can come up with, we'll see what they can do in the future, okay? But speaking of, Monster Hunter, I should say just Capcom in general. Let's talk about Capcom, okay? Capcom says that creating new IPs are a priority. Really? Just not too long ago, Capcom said that, they weren't going to give you sequels if, certain games didn't meet a certain standard. Now you're worried about creating new IPs. Are you worried now that Street Fighter cannot hold you but so long? Is that it? Because Capcom, you have enough IPs in your bank, in your vault, that have not been used for years that you can make money off of. I've done videos on this already on how to help you. You don't want to listen. So if you don't want to listen, guess what? Then burn. That's simple. Keep milking your Street Fighter. Keep milking for animal costumes and all kinds of color palettes and swaps, and do what you have to do, Capcom. We are used to it by now, and we know to stay away from it. Okay? That's why we look into these things first before, and people have to understand, you new gamers, you have to understand, back in the day, when Capcom came out with a game, we said, Capcom, it's going to be good. We're going to go get it. EA, it's going to be good. We're going to go get it. Now when you hear these names, you're like, okay, what's the catch? What are they trying to sell you? What are they milking you on? What's locked on the disc? All this. Like, there wasn't any of that before. They have lost their integrity. They've lost their popularity within, their trust within the community. So yes, every time a bit of news comes out about Capcom or about EA or about Ubisoft and their bullshit, yes, the new one, you have to understand that this is going to be something that we're going to look into. Just saying. It's always good to be educated on these issues. Also, Resident Evil Revelations 2, new screenshots, new enemies, puzzles, and more. I will put, if you want to be spoiled, I don't know how much you want to be, but I will put that link in the info bar for you if you're interested, okay? Also, I want to talk about Focus Attack. That's right, we're going to turn to the FGC for a minute. I always talk about the FGC. Focus Attack. Donate cans returns for another food drive tournament. Now, I want to talk about this. This is very important. So, let's talk about this, okay? The fine folks over at Strike First Colorado are set to host a follow-up to a highly successful charity tournament that they put on last year, okay? Focus Attack Donate Cans, or FADC, for you Street Fighter players out there. It says, gathered 1,000 cans of non-perishable food and 16 turkeys for the Denver rescue mission during the inaugural event. And the organizers are looking to surpass those numbers this weekend. That's right. That is a great thing to see. Now, here's the thing. It says players will be able to get into the doors with 10 cans of food. Okay? It says, with an additional 5 cans for each game or tournament that they want to enter in. So that's what this is. You don't have to pay anything. You just have to bring cans of food to enter said tournament. That is a great idea. That is amazing. Alright? It says, where am I at? Hold on. It says, if you want to enter, it says, will feature competition of Ultra Street Fighter 4, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, King of Fighters 13, Blaze Blue Chrono Phantasma, and Under Night in Birth. Those are the games that they're going to be running. Okay? So 5 cans for each competition that you want to join in. It doesn't even matter if you win or not. The fact that you're giving food to people in need should be that should be everything. That's it right there. But let's keep going. It says, in addition to foodstuffs, First Strike will also be taking monetary donations, which 100%, that's right, of which will go to the Denver Rescue Mission to help them purchase more Thanksgiving turkeys for the local homeless population. This is a perfect way for all you charitable folks out there to get into the action if you want to, you won't be able to make the tournaments in person. This is unbelievable. I feel this is what games are about, our community is about. You gotta think, I'm just coming back off of the Extra Life program in the tournament. I will talk about a little bit of that later, okay? But understand, when you are seeing these type of things, and like I said, there shouldn't be any pop-offs. There shouldn't be, like I said, this is really not about tournaments. This is about helping people within what we do as gamers to use the games that we play and the skills that we have in those games. This is amazing. And yet it seems like I just feel as though this is not going to get enough credit in the media. This is something that really should be, championed. But of course, we know how that goes. And it's sad. So, gaming community, seriously, promote this. This is something that really needs to be done. And I know a lot of people like to talk about the fighting game community, talk about how bad it is and how vile it can be. But when you see things like this, you got to give it up to them. You have to. and also gaming journalists, if you're looking for something positive for once, here's your story. Seriously, it shouldn't take SRK to just talk about this. This is the story you should be talking about. The Extra Life program is the story you should have been talking about. You know, I'll talk, like I said, I really should do a full video, and I really should. But let's just keep going, because even though I'm giving you positive news, now I got to give you some negative news in the fighting game community. For those who don't know, I've talked about this not too long ago, I said. Project M fans send death threats to Apex organizer because the game wasn't on the list. Really? So now you're going to send death threats? Once again, this is our community. But our community doesn't need any fixing, right? You've got to be kidding me. How many times have we seen developers or organizers get death threats simply because said game was on this console or said game is not on this list? You're going to send, it's not just death threats either. I'll put the link in the info bar. Rape threats and things of this nature. The person resigned. He was like, look, I'm done. He was like, this can go on without me. And it wasn't just him, it was his friends, his family. Like, come on, man. Because the game isn't on the list, you're going to act like this? So when these people say that the gaming community is immature, it's kind of hard to say it's not. But that's not all. We just saw not too long ago, 2 idiots, alright, for what I'm hearing is over Call of Duty, alright, fight at an internet cafe because some guy was camping and talking trash the entire time. Let's look at this stupid fight. I will say that the first thing that came to my mind when I saw the first punch thrown was, you fucking what, mate? That's the first thing that came to my mind. But I will put it like this. I see a lot of people talking about how this is awesome. This is an awesome fight. No, it's not. If you think that's awesome, a bunch of clowns who don't know how to throw a punch, and you're talking about a person who gets punched in the face every other day for fun, all right, in boxing. So for you to sit here and say, that's fun, that's awesome, that's stupid. You're fighting over a video game. If this is true, what we're hearing, you're fighting over a video game. Some guy camping at an internet cafe and saying, come see me when you want to. And then the guy comes running in throwing a punch. That's stupid. Guy lays on him, sits on him, and then just wails on him. Absolutely stupid. Over a video game. But our community doesn't need any fixing. Gotta be kidding me, man. Like I said, for anyone who thinks this is an awesome fight, must I direct you to real fighting? That's ridiculous. It's stupid. But let's keep moving on. Destiny 2. That's right, talk about more FPS. Destiny 2 is in development, says Activision. Wait a minute. What happened to that 10-year plan for Destiny 1? Like, what happened? Did it not go well? I'm just saying, Activision. Destiny, look, if anyone is still trying to ride this Destiny coattails, and we've seen a lot, and I mean a lot of articles now, even from Yahoo, gamers, actually from the gaming, industry and journalists are saying, I'm quitting on Destiny. So if people are actually quitting on Destiny, and you come out with a Destiny 2, there's going to be a problem. Big problem. With the media. I don't think that gamers, I don't know. We've seen gamers complain about Destiny. I really don't know, man. Like, it's gotten to a point now where these games are so microwavable, because that's what they are. Microwave games. You play it for a couple months, you trade it in, and then you forget about it until the next one comes out. Then you trade it in. We've even seen gamers say, I traded my game in, but I'm going to go buy it again. What the hell are you trading in for? But whatever. Let's just keep going. Seriously. Also, some more news. Elite Dangerous drops its promised offline mode. But they're saying that there's single-player mode, but you have to be connected always online or something. Why? Is this really called for? Haven't y'all learned by now about always online? You don't need it. But it seems like people, like I said, I didn't know this game was even coming out, to be quite honest. But still, just to see that, it's like, you still haven't learned. Welcome to 2 years ago. But, let's keep going. Also, for people in Argentina, 50 free indie Argentinian games. I'll put the link in the info bar if you're interested in that. Also, I've talked about this. A grandmother uses World of Warcraft to cope with cancer. That's right. And she became the heart of this new documentary that's getting ready to come out. It goes to show you video games can make a difference. And now I want to talk about a little bit of my experience with the Extra Life program. I feel that's a good segue. Okay? What I saw at this Extra Life program was one of the best things that I've ever been a part of when it comes to video games. To actually meet these kids and to see these kids in person that you're helping. All right? And I have to say, for everyone that donated, for everyone that spread the word, this is because of you as well. All right? I got to meet these kids. You get to talk to them. There's kids that survived leukemia. There's kids that had no limbs. There's kids that were in bad accidents. And these are kids that are like 5, 6 years old. And they're still going. They got on stage. Now, you saw the pictures I posted on Twitter when I was there. They were getting medals. They were being hailed as champions. They would get up there and say thank you to all of you who helped us, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be alive today. Like, when you are seeing these things, who cares about the tournament? Who cares? That's the best thing that I saw down there. These kids happy. So when I see these journalists talk about death and killing, and I see these gamers sending death threats and everything, and I'm looking like these 5 or 6 kids, 5, 6-year-old kids, they've got way more life experience and maturity than these gamers and these so-called adults in the industry. It's crazy. It's one of the best things I've ever been a part of as a gamer. I'm proud to say it, but you know how I am. I always feel as though no matter how much I've done, more can be done. I always look to the next thing. More can be done. It could have been bigger than what it was. I'm always looking to that next thing to make things bigger. You know how I am. It was amazing to see. And like I said, I should do a full video on it. I really should. Listing pros and cons of the tournament, of every day that I was there from the tournament and situations that happened and, how everything ended. And I have to say, the people that I talked to, the people that were involved, the gamers that showed up, nothing but love. Nothing but open arms. Handshakes and hearty welcomes and good lucks, and, we're all here for one reason. We're all here as a single entity, and I've never seen such camaraderie in a long time. I haven't seen that since the 90s when it comes to games. And I think that's what we've been missing for a very long time. So while I'm out there and I'm seeing these things, and I look on Twitter and I see people in Gamergate fighting with each other, it's just like, it doesn't register with me, man. Yes, there are bigger things. There are more important things. As Pac-Man said, there are more important things to worry about. But those important things can be used in our community. We can help people. It's easy to tear down somebody. It's easy to throw hate at somebody. I told you before, it is easier to take a life than it is to save a life. And it seems like people still don't understand that. Our community has a lot of growing up to do. A lot. And the thing is, even though you guys and girls helped me raise a lot of money for the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, there was another person, a kid I believe that was from Philadelphia, a child. He raised like $5,000, $7,000. And you know what that kid did? He went around walking up to people on the street, big tough guys, bikers and everything, and was like, I'm doing this for Extra Life and, to help kids like myself, because he was also sick as well. To help kids for myself so that we can have a better life, and anything that you can donate would help. And you saw bikers digging in their pockets, giving $5, $10 here, and he would just go and do that time and time again. Because what we do can help others. And if you don't know all the parameters, like I said, I really should do a full video on this. To see all the politics that's involved and all the people that really don't know what we do here as gamers. I can't tell you how many business people that we had to talk to that said, what's this? What? You mean video games are being streamed? What's Twitch? What's Hitbox? Like, there's a lot of people who do not know what we can do. So we bridge the gap a lot. And it goes, and people are looking to sponsor, these type of things. Remember, just a year or so ago when I was trying to get, the fighting game community sponsored for stuff, and people walked away when they saw stuff on YouTube, Now I'm starting to see there's a lot of companies out there that really do want to help us. But you can't push them away. And you also have to act mature in this situation. So when I get angry, and if you've made it to the end of this video, congratulations. I'm sure you saw all the blow-ups that I just got so angry in the beginning. But this is why. You are squandering, you are just hurting an opportunity that can make us better as a community. I know some people don't care. I know some people just want to see the world burn. I understand it. But there's a lot of us. You have to understand when people get sick and families, and that's what this was about. Families who don't have that type of coverage, who don't know where to go. Now they have somewhere to go for when their child is sick. For you know what I mean? That's what it is. You have to understand, man. This is bigger than all of us. This is why we need to work as a team. But it seems like we still have people with their heads in the sand who just think that it's about them. I don't respect those people. At all. So like I said, who the fuck are you to give me advice? That's simple. You can like this video, you can hate this, I don't care. I really don't. But today, all this needed to be said.